Hello everybody and welcome back to the American Dynasty YouTube channel. So in this video, you guys already know exactly what we are going to be discussing, and that is going to be about the match between USA and Mexico. Yes, on Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, we will be playing against Mexico in Cincinnati, Ohio. There will be 26,000 fans within that stadium, and so this is going to be a game where we just have to win. There is no excuses to not win in this match. I understand that Mexico is a very difficult team to play against, and especially in the World Cup qualifiers, but this is USA. Like, with the players that we do have and the amount of talent that's coming through this team, we need to win. We are 3 points right now behind Mexico. We are 1 point on top of Canada, and right now we do sit in second place. And we have to win in this match. Like, we're going to be playing at home. Our next game against Mexico is going to be away. If we can't win and we end up tying or losing against Mexico, what makes you think we're going to be achieving some sort of points, like 1 point or 3 points up against Mexico at Mexico's home? So this game, we just have to take advantage of this game. So first things first, I want to talk about the Mexican national team squad list, right? Because we have seen many great players emerge into this squad list. They are looking stronger than ever, because I think that this is probably the best Mexico assembled on paper that we have seen so far in 2021. This is going to be the hardest Mexican side we are going to be facing. And the best way I could describe this, right? Because regardless, Mexico is going to play well. But the best way I could describe this Mexican national team right now within this squad list is that they have more options. They have so many more attacking options up front. Because if we look at Chucky Lozano, they have him. They have Raul Jimenez. They have Funes Mori. They have Jesus Corona, Tecatito, right? These players right here, they are all world class. They are all capable to do so much harm against USA. And so they have options. So as we do look at this USA national team, right, seeing who has been brought up within this squad list, great football is going to be needed in this match. Like, yes, I understand that we need to win in whatever way, but we have to play good football. We need to be able to do two things that is going to be very important in this game: to play out very well from the back and press from the front. If we can do those two things, USA will have a chance. And let me tell you why. Because I think that when it comes to pressing from the front, it's going to be a necessity to force those mistakes against Mexico. That is the only way we can force mistakes against Mexico, is to press from the front. Having Wea, Aaronson, Pulisic, Pepi, whoever's going to be playing in that front three, they need to press very hard and force these mistakes. Because if we look at the past 3 goals that Mexico has conceded, they have all came through basic errors. Like, Mexico, when they concede goals, it comes through very basic mistakes. And I think that if USA can force those mistakes from Mexico and really press them well, we can get a lot of goals up against Mexico. But look, I understand, right? I understand that Mexico defensively, they're also very good. But what I'm trying to say is that if USA can take advantage of the fact that Mexico, sometimes they are not really very well aware of the players that is around them. If USA can notice that and see that Mexico, when they're facing against a very great team, right, like us, like USA, they can do a lot of mistakes. And I think that USA have to look at that in that way, to be confident, to understand that they are not going to be in the control of Mexico. USA have to believe that they are much more superior. Now, I do want to speak on the best possible starting 11 that we could see for USA, but I first want to talk about the squad list that we are seeing here for the World Cup qualifying roster for USA. Because if we look at these players here, I remember when this squad list was released on Twitter and on Instagram, everyone was so confused. Everyone was asking, what in the world is Greg Berhalter doing? Because we saw so many MLS players within this squad list. Many of us were just saying, okay, Greg literally has some favoritism over some MLS players. Like, for example, why is Conrad not here? Why is Happy not here? Why is Brooks not here? But we end up seeing Ariola. We end up seeing Leggett. We end up seeing players like Zimmerman, for example. There are so many MLS players that I'm not going to be saying that these MLS players are like a joke, right? That they should be playing somewhere else. I'm not saying that they should be completely neglected from the USA roster, but I'm just saying that if you're going to take away Conrad de la Fuente and Hoppy and Brooks to bring in players like Acosta, Leggett, players like Zimmerman, I just do not get why we have to go in this way. Because look, for example, Brooks, I understand that he has not been playing very well for the U.S. men's national team in the past 3 to 4 games. I really do understand that. But if he's playing very solid, right, very solid with Wolfsburg, but he ends up not playing well for the U.S. men's national team, then you, my friend, right, Greg, you're not doing something good. You're not doing something well for John Brooks. Because Brooks has already shown everyone, the media, the people, the USA fans, that he has the capability to do well. And if you think that Brooks cannot do well with the U.S. men's national team, there needs to be some self-reflection, and you have to understand that maybe you, right, Greg, needs to change something within that defensive line and have Brooks understand how to defend better under this system. But besides that, I do believe that even if we have players like Acosta, Leggett, Roldan, and many of these MLS players, I still think that they're not going to be touching the starting 11 up against Mexico. I don't even think that they're going to be playing up against Mexico at all. And so looking at the defending list right here, all of these defenders, we can see that Joe Scully is actually here. This is going to be the introduction of Joe Scully. I'm very happy for him. This is going to be a huge moment for this player. Now, there is 2 reasons on why Scully is within this squad list. Point number 1, Serginho Dest is injured. His lower back has been experiencing some sort of pain. And also, point number 2, Scully has been showing star performances with Mönchengladbach. So do I think that Scully could be starting in the starting 11 up against Mexico? We're going to have to wait and see. We have no idea. As for Pulisic, we can see that Pulisic is here in the forwards list. And it's very exciting to see Pulisic finally back, because we haven't seen Pulisic in a very long time. Like, he was not even here in the previous camp. Like, yes, have we done okay with the U.S. men's national team without Pulisic? Yes, it's true. We have done okay, but with Pulisic, we are that much better. He brings us so many more options. But here is going to be my biggest worry. We know that Pulisic has been out for almost 2 months, and many people are going to be questioning, should we actually start or place Pulisic within this camp? Like, we don't want to see someone like Christian Pulisic receive a injury during camp and then he has to come back to Chelsea and he's injured, right? Because even Tuchel, who is the current coach for Chelsea, he has stated this, and I quote, "I hope they don't overuse him. I hope they are responsible enough. Christian still feels a bit of pain. He absolutely wants to come back, but it's a matter of pain management, not re-injury or being still injured. It's just that it's still painful. But he tried so hard and wanted desperately to come back, and we need him to come back. But yes, we are a bit worried. Hopefully the U.S. men's national team and he himself are responsible, and he doesn't get carried away with emotion by helping his country to win a super important match. Hopefully it all goes well and the minutes will evaluate him and he comes back stronger." So look, I understand that many of us just do not want to see Pulisic get injured. I understand that Tuchel may look a little bad within this statement by saying, oh, you just want to... I've seen some people saying that, oh, Tuchel just wants to reserve Pulisic. He just wants him for his own team, and he does not really care about what's going to go on with the U.S. men's national team. But I think that it is... I understand it. I understand that, you know, with a player like Pulisic, we have seen him get injured multiple times, and not just multiple times, but he has been out for almost 6 to 7 months, like 2 or 3 times in his career, and many of us just do not want to see that. So I understand that Tuchel may be a little bit worried. So could we see Pulisic play up against Mexico? I think that we could see him play up against Mexico, but I just do not see him being used a lot, nor do I see him actually starting up against Mexico. It's really going to be depending on how he does feel. Maybe he should be placed on the 70th minute up against Mexico, and then maybe against Jamaica, which will be our next match. He can also be placed in on the 70th minute and just play a total of 40 minutes overall within these 2 matches. But now I do want to move on towards the possible starting 11 that we could see against Mexico, which is going to be probably the most interesting phase within this video, because there are so many options. I understand that there are so many ways we could form our starting 11. We could use a 3-5-2, maybe a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, a 3-4-3. There are many ways. I have no idea what Greg is going to be doing up against Mexico, but I think that the safest bet to go for is going to go for a 4-3-3. A 4-3-3, 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards. I do expect to see Turner in goal, not Zach Steffen. I think that Turner has shown that he is someone who can really show up in these very big, important matches. As for the defensive line, I do see Anthony Robinson starting in the left back position, Miles Robinson starting in the center back position, Chris Richards also starting right next to Miles Robinson, and then having Yedlin on the right back position. I'm going to be talking about Yedlin later down this video. As for the midfield, I do expect to see Tyler Adams, Musa, and McKennie. There is no other midfielder that I think should be starting in this game unless it's Buzio. If for some reason Adams gets injured or Musa gets injured or McKennie gets injured, Buzio should be the first man in line to replace these players. As for the front three, I do expect to see Aaronson on the left, Pepi as the striker, and Wea as the right winger. So more on this starting 11, right? I want to make 3 points. Point number 1, Yedlin. I think that Yedlin will be starting in this game, mainly because he has the most experience to be playing up against Mexico. Now, look, I understand that this might sound a little contradicting. Many are going to be saying, but Kevin, you just said that legit, and players like Roldan and all of these MLS players shouldn't be playing or in the squad list at all. You said that experience doesn't really matter, but here's the thing. Yedlin actually has the experience, and when he's actually on the field and he plays on the right back position, he actually plays well. It's the same thing as Pepi, right? Like Pepi plays in the MLS, but when he's there up against Costa Rica or Honduras or whoever it may be, he actually delivers, and we want to see that. When it comes to Legit, Roldan, and all of these MLS players, they are in there and they don't even do anything. Like Ariola, they don't do anything. So I would say Yedlin should be starting in the right back position. I think that Berhalter is going to be playing it very safe. Maybe we could see Scully come in later in the match. I just do not see Greg Berhalter automatically starting Scully within the starting 11, and especially against Mexico, right? I think that Scully has to have more time to understand what the atmosphere is like, how tense these situations could get, and then get into the game. Point number 2, Adams and McKennie, right? I think that Adams and McKennie's defensive game, right? Their defensive duties are going to be very important. They have to be very well aware on when to go up and attack, because if they're not, Mexico can eat up those spaces. Their interceptions also has to be on point, because the one thing that I have found out about Mexico is that every time they do get one of their balls intercepted, they tend to form back into their shape very slow. And I think that if USA can intercept the ball quickly, counterattack quickly, we can really hurt Mexico. Moving on to point number 3, and that is going to be about Wea. I want to see the Wea that we saw go up against Costa Rica. Like when we saw Wea go up against Costa Rica, we saw a very different type of Wea. A Wea that was very vertical, a Wea that was very confident on the ball, not being scared to take shots, because that is the only reason why USA even found that second goal. Like I understand that it was an own goal, but you can still see the intentions coming from Wea, that he wanted to score, that he wanted to cause damage. And I think that if Wea can continue to do that and act as a distraction on the right flank, that is only going to add less emphasis from Mexico's standpoint on Pepi. We want Pepi to be alone. We want Pepi to be inside the box, being ignored by Mexico, because if Mexico continues to give their attention towards Wea, who is causing all of this damage, they're going to leave Pepi alone, and we know what Pepi could do inside the box once he does have the ball. And I just cannot wait to see the Yunus Musa, Timothy Wea duo on the pitch. It's going to be very exciting. I want to see Musa take over Wea's position, Wea cutting in inside, just causing all of this damage going up against Mexico. So there's so many things that we can do. I think that this is what really makes USA stand out from Mexico, is the fact that we have so many options. We have so many ways to really attack Mexico. We can be very unpredictable, and when you are unpredictable, the opposition is going to be very surprised on what could happen on the field. But that is going to be wrapping up today's American Dynasty YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.